because we can always edit it.
All right, you ready?
Okay, wait. That's recording.
Can I add a...
Yeah.
Okay.
Ready?
Yeah.
Yes.
Welcome to The Funniest Thing, where
Yes.
each week we share stories about how stepping out boldly always leads to better than expected outcomes.
Yes.
I'm Darrell.
And I'm Ed.
And we're broadcasting live from Middle School Studios in downtown Culver City, the heart of Screenland.
Yes.
And you know what, Ed?
What?
It's time to quit working out at the Y.
Yes. Today's talk is called Quit Working Out at the Y. The full title of the talk is Quit Working Out at the Y. God will explain it to you later. Life is always working out in our favor. When we let God do the heavy lifting and trust that all is in divine order, things shape up in better than expected ways. And we get to share a daily word.
That's right.
Which was faith as the show goes on. And we have some other great readings. So why don't we start?
Wait.
Oh, you want to start with the 3 breaths?
Yes.
Great idea. So,
Okay.
we're going to start out with our 3 breaths. So, let's take a deep breath to clear our mind.
Okay, wait.
I look forward to being surprised because there's more than meets the eye.
I look forward to being surprised because there's more that meets... Was it? More than meets the eyes.
I look forward to being surprised because there's more than meets the eyes. Wow.
That was easy.
Peaceful toads.
Yeah, that was easy. All right, well, let's start with the reading from Christian Healing by none other than Papa Charlie, a.k.a. Charles Fillmore.
Yes, one of the founders of Unity.
Yes. Charles Fillmore said, "We should have faith in our own power, capacity, and ability. If we are to have this faith, our thoughts must be centered in the great universal mind. Success lies in God. Whatsoever is not of faith is sin. Then whatsoever is of faith is not sin."
And wait, you should read a little more about how he describes sin so it doesn't scare anyone. Because he says it right there.
Where?
He says, this is the best part. He goes, "This is the standard of righteousness for the man who will put on the Christ. It is his breastplate, his protection, while he's coming up into knowledge of absolute good."
Oh, I see.
Sin is simply a missing of the mark. And we miss the mark by not having faith.
Yes, we may think that we are headed in the right direction because our rational mind tells us this. The people around us are telling us, this is the way to go. No, I swear, you have to go that way. What do you mean you're not going to go that way?
We're all going to die.
We're all going to die. But when we have faith and step out boldly, like we talk about on our show all the time.
That's what shifts things.
Yeah, and then we end up having better than expected outcomes in the most amazing ways that we couldn't have even concocted.
Yeah, because we don't really... We're going to read another read. We should just read it because it's so good. This one. Because
yes.
Would you rather be right or would you rather be happy? Because there's a lot of people in my neighborhood
Yes.
that are saying very scary things. And
Right.
they go, "How are you doing? Are you okay?" And I go, "I'm doing great. I'm very optimistic." Well, and then they go into a whole litany of why I shouldn't be optimistic without saying I shouldn't be optimistic. And it's easy to think in my little head, oh no, maybe I'm wrong and they're right. Maybe I should be worried.
Right.
But the truth is, if I ask them, is that really what you want to happen? What do you think they would say? Would you rather be right or happy? And joy is the strength of the Lord. And in times like this, there is more strength in joy than there is in fear. And we know that's true for everything. We
Yes.
just met someone or heard a friend of ours, Stephanie, at Unity Church.
Right.
is happily unaware of all the scary static that's going on surrounding the events right now because she's not on Facebook or Instagram.
That's right. She's not online at all.
She's not online at all. So she's actually happily, and I think more healthfully, naive to all this scary chatter that really has nothing to do with the facts.
That's right. And now is like studying what we're studying and practicing this stuff in times like this really makes all this stuff hit home, because the people who in the unity tradition who set this thing moving in the first
lived
place,
through this pandemic in 1918.
Yes,
they were
lived
like
through
our
world wars.
age.
They lived through all sorts of things, depressions.
Yes.
And they'll talk. Eric Butterworth will talk about how we're so bold as to think these thoughts. Not that everyone else was thinking those thoughts, but in fact, most people around him were not. But that didn't make them any less true or any less productive or any less helpful. In fact, they're more helpful than ever before. And in A Deep Breath of Life by Alan Cohen, which is another one of the books we read every morning, we do recommend a morning routine. It is the best vaccination you can give yourself every morning to keep your mind healthy.
Stir up your faith in the morning.
Yeah, you don't want... I was thinking about this earlier. Part of the virus is the mental virus, the thoughts that go with it. Like when a virus takes over the computer, it like takes over the thinking of the computer. We want to make sure that we keep hitching our wagon to the ultimate engine, which is God. Because when we do, amazing things happen. Regardless of what happens around us, God will continue to provide for us in amazing ways. And in fact, Alan Cohen on March 20th said, "Pray to be wrong." Because our minds are not always thinking these things. They're not always, we get worries, we get fears, we get doubts, but sometimes it's better to be wrong than right.
I may be wrong, God may be right.
Yes. God may be right. All right, so that was from Billy Joel. But this one's from Alan Cohen. He says, "A problem is a call for us to open up our consciousness and view a situation from a different perspective.
Yes.
No one knows it all. Be innocent enough to consider that the universe may be bigger than what you know to be true. You may gain more by being wrong than by tenaciously clinging to being right." You like this? I opened my mind to live in a bigger universe.
And being innocent is a synonym for naive. And that goes right into this reading, because this is the thing you could hang your hat on.
Yes.
The best thing for us to do in a situation like this, and the most powerful, is to quiet our minds.
Yes.
And see people in our minds as we're imagining our neighbors happy, free, laughing, saying things like, "I'm so grateful this is over with.
Yes.
It worked out. It was less of a problem than I thought it was going to be."
Yes.
We're allowed to do that.
That's right, because no matter what decisions we're making, we can still cooperate with everything that's going on around us, the things that are being suggested. Our spirit does not have to be dampened by these things. No. We can look with wonder at what's around us and wonder what good is going to come from this.
And there's more good happening right now than there is bad.
Agreed.
So, right on the tail of that reading, another book we suggest you get.
It's in the bookstore, Unity of the Westside. When they reopen, you can grab yourself a copy.
Or you can order it on Amazon. It's called Celebrate Yourself by Eric Butterworth.
Right.
And we recommend just read 2 pages a night. And these have, all the books we read are short, easy to read books. This is from the Law of Vibration. And this is crucial to this whole situation. This is what I'm hanging my hat on, is this simple bit of advice, what he puts forth here. Ask yourself, am I part of the solution to the problems around me, or am I part of the problem?
Yes.
If you react with anger or bitterness or fear, you are projecting negative vibrations, and thus you are part of the problem. Unless you want to perpetuate conditions around you, you must change your thoughts about them. Jesus said, let your light shine. One with positive vibrations of light emanating from him can walk into a room and his presence is immediately felt as a harmonizing influence.
Yes.
And on page 77, or 74 rather, this is perfect.
Oh, yeah, let's hear that.
Be a center of love. When the world around you is in turmoil, do you like that bookmark? When the world around you is in turmoil, you may be confused as to where you should stand.
Yes.
When social issues become polarized and politicized, people may demand to know, are you for us or against us? Or why aren't you afraid? You're not taking this seriously. It is important to know that you need not become trapped in divisiveness.
Yes.
You can take a stand for unity. The one thing to be against is the tendency to react in anger and hostility, to give vent to feelings of bias and prejudice. And the important thing to be for is the way of love. And I've been thinking a lot not to resist, because fear is just resisting this ever-expanding, harmonizing force.
Yes.
That's healing.
Yeah, we want to stay in that harmonizing state of mind, because for me, I was telling Darrell and I were talking, it's like we're balancing this plate, which is, we want to stay in a positive state of mind, and we know that affirmative thinking,
Yes.
rather than being some weak-willed thing, is the best thing that we can do for ourselves and other people. But what can also happen for me, sometimes I can start resenting people who are not thinking affirmatively. So one of the prayers, one of the affirmations I use in the morning is, these things shall not move me.
Yes.
That way, if someone is afraid and they approach me, I can still be loving to them, because I am not going to be moved and taking out of that being taken out of my own loving, joyful space. So I just affirm, these things will not move me, because I want to stay affirmative, and I want to be able to bless everyone else regardless of whether they are being affirmative or not.
Yeah, I'm going to read something great here that's very good news. Mm-hmm. That's the facts about this way of believing and seeing things.
Yes.
And before I do, just this morning I was doodling after my morning routine. And when we say
Right.
morning routine, we're not talking about push-ups, although you could add that to it. We mean before your wife or your husband wakes up, or unless they want to join you,
That's true
or
too.
if you live by yourself.
Yeah, before you go out on the road.
Before you do anything, make your coffee, grab a few of these spiritual books, and even
Yes.
before you meditate, read some of these positive ideas. So then when you do meditate, your mind now is already starting to chug along on a healthy train track.
Yes.
And so after I did my morning routine, I started scribbling in my sketchbook, and I drew this guy waving, because I was thinking, it feels so good when I see people out in public now and they smile and wave.
Yes.
Most of them don't initiate it, but I've been taking a risk. Just smile and wave. You don't have to make a big thing. And you feel the healing.
Yes.
So I drew this card out. It says smile and wave to one another, and it's a couple. And they're just walking. You see them smile and waving, and it says smile and wave to one another and heal the world.
Yes.
So just so we know how much power of protection is in doing this, this is still from that same book, Celebrate Yourself. I'm just going to
Butterworth.
Page 77 if you own this. Crucial. It says, become a center of love, which we just talked about. You will become a positive influence in your community. But more important, you will be centered in a circle of protection. In this awareness of constantly seeing love going out, thinking loving thoughts about everybody involved,
Yes.
it says, centered in this awareness, no harm can befall you. For anyone or anything coming into your space is lifted into the aura of your consciousness. You can become a center of love. Enough centers of love in the city and around the nation will help to evoke wise actions by our government and bring the unified support of the people. Enough centers of love around the world will build bridges of communication and peace. Love is the answer.
Yes, love is the answer. I looked up in The Science of Mind, which is another book by Ernest Holmes that I have, and in the back he has a lot, or in one section there's a lot of mental equivalence.
Yeah, so if there's certain disorder,
Yeah.
You look up the mental equivalent.
Right, which means if something's out of whack, what is the state of consciousness that you want to get into to replace that state that is, out of alignment at that time? So I looked up flus and colds, and in that chapter, there were two things that he sort of focused on. One of them is confusion as an underlying cause of these things. So, because there's so much going on. Remember, the title of our show is Quit Working Out at the Why. God will explain it to you later. So, what I've been finding for myself is that confusion settles in when I don't really know something, but my fearful mind starts to plug in.
Why?
It'll be asking why. It'll be jumping to scary conclusions. It'll just put me into a state of confusion. There's nothing wrong with not knowing. There's a lot we don't know. And living this way, that's an exciting part of life, because I think it's Emmett Fox says God is on the road ahead. God is always on the road ahead. So
the road ahead is friendly.
The road ahead, the unknown is friendly. So to stay out of confusion, it's okay to admit what I don't know. Take a deep breath, relax, and just let go of the confusion and let new answers, new ideas flow in. And the other thing that he talked about was staying in a sense of harmony with other people and with the events in our lives. So regardless of what's going on, we can internally bless it and affirm divine order. This is one of the reasons why a morning routine and a time in the evening to read, like Darrell said, even just 2 pages, to reset, because it's in those times that it's easier to affirm that everything's in divine order, Darrell and I will sit and send love to all of Culver City and all of the world.
Yes.
And in those times, we kind of align ourselves into a state of harmony with people and situations around us.
Not the timer. That's why it's amazing that you kicked off the show with this.
Yes.
Because this is what Charles Fillmore is saying. What's the song?
Which
Come
one?
on. Accentuate the positive.
Yeah.
And
eliminate the negative. Latch on
to the affirmative, and don't mess with Mr. In Between.
Right. Exactly.
I think you might have to
double. Oh, there we are.
Uh-oh.
It's still going or no?
No, I think. Wait. Don't tap. Are we still going?
We are still going.
Hello,
everyone.
We're back.
Yeah. At least in our own mind.
Well, we got the timer. We're all good.
We're fine.
Okay. So this is what it means. This is where I got to hang hat, where it says we can't be in between. That's why he's saying whatsoever is not of faith is sin. And whatsoever is of faith is not sin. I mean, right now and all the time, but I think I'm learning a valuable lesson.
Yeah.
Because this is bringing me back to when I was brand new at this stuff.
Yes.
When it's so far over my head,
right.
I either have to be 100% on board with faith or I'm floundering.
Yes.
So these times are giving us all a great opportunity to really start exercising faith in good outcomes. The road ahead is friendly. And there's a title of a book we don't have time to read from today because I can't remember exactly where it is. This title says it all, and it's the first chapter. The light will dawn. You can't really see it. There it is. The light will dawn.
Yeah, and that's a good way to avoid confusion. Because she talks about using that as an affirmation.
The light will dawn. And I've been saying the light is dawning.
Yes. Grab the daily word, because we're going to read the daily word, which is faith. And you were mentioning faith. It is, what was it? March, keep going back until you find faith. I think the one thing I realized when I was driving over here,
ripped it out of mine.
to really to get ready to deliver this talk, I was realizing that by living this way, the main thing I've learned to do is have faith in the unknown every day for me, because my mind tends towards fear and doubt and worry. So every day, not just now, I've learned to, walk from faith, which this was from Monday, March 9th.
Monday, March 9th.
Yeah.
In your daily word.
And that means trusting that God is taking care of the details, not just now, but in everything. And I think this time can really help practice that. So when we go back to everyday life, we can bring this back to our everyday life.
We're faith building.
Yes. My faith keeps my mind centered on God. Faith is the lens through which I see the world and my place in it. I believe that God is ever present, so I practice looking for the good in everything. My faith allows me to see God in all things, even in what I don't like. When I have faith that divine order is always at work, I feel less anxious and more at peace, believing that the best possible outcomes are unfolding. If I notice that I am thinking and acting in ways that do not demonstrate my faith, I turn my mind away from my problems and fears and instead focus on God.
Yes!
Even in the face of challenges, faith returns me to the love and peace of God. And then the Bible verse says, whatever is true, whatever is honorable, whatever is just, whatever is pure, whatever is pleasing, whatever is commendable, if there is any excellence, if there is anything worthy of praise, think about these things. Philippians 4:8.
Yeah, it says, think about everything that's positive. Expect
Yes.
better than expected outcomes. That's what it's saying to do. It's not
Yes.
saying, well, you better worry.
And I'll tell you what,
It's not saying that. I got to remember this.
in our world, people who have invested their energy in fear, and I really believe a lot of it is well-meaning, but a lot of people believe that I can't focus on the good because that will undercut how serious this is. So they will cut out the good, thinking that that's going to somehow put us in danger. But, dude,
There's more good happening right now than bad.
our immune system feeds off of joy. It is
That's
at its
right.
healthiest when we are in an optimistic state of mind.
Doctors will tell you that.
Doctors will always tell you that. And the patients that heal the fastest are those who have faith and a sense of positive expectancy.
Yes, and the head of Harvard Medical,
Yes.
which Charles Barker got this from, says health is a yes system and disease is a no system. And all disease has one kicker offer, and that's congestion.
Yes.
And all health has one thing in common: circulation. Let this harmonizing force flow through us without restricting it with fear.
That's exactly right. That's the whole basis of like acupuncture as well. It's about unclogging the energy channels so that health can flow, which is our natural state.
Yes.
Should we tell this quick story about Fred?
Yeah, Fred in the congregation.
Yeah,
we heard a little story. That church years ago.
It was a while ago at a church. There was a fine young woman named... do you remember what her name was? Sarah was swaying and dancing on the balcony.
She worked at the church.
When she lost her balcony and toppled clear over the railing. But praise the Lord, her dress caught on the hanging light fixture, leaving her safely suspended but mightily exposed. Thinking as quick as a rabbit in love, I'll be the preacher told the congregation, the first man who looks at that fine Christian woman will be struck stone blind. Sitting in the front pew, a young man named Fred covered his face, looked up, and told himself, I reckon I could risk one eye. Oh my god. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
That laughter would have been a better sound effect, but our fraud only knows one sound effect.
Should we just tell the story about Larry Poppins? Mary Poppins' brother?
Oh, we got to tell that story. We got time.
Yeah. So let's see. Was it Larry Poppins or Barry Poppins? His name was Larry Poppins. And Larry Poppins was in some kind of a state because...
Wait, Larry Poppins... Well, wait, I'll just be Larry Poppins. Okay. Hey, boys!
Larry Poppins?
It's me, Larry Poppins.
What are you doing here?
Well, you guys probably know my famous sister, Mary Poppins.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
I knew you looked familiar.
Really? I looked... Wow. Anyway.
You look just like her.
Well, I don't have my umbrella. But getting back to why I'm here, I was listening out there, floating around with my little umbrella, and I overheard what you guys were talking about, and I was amazed because I actually wrote all the songs. I know Mary got all the... Well, you probably heard of Frank Stallone.
Yeah.
He didn't get any credit. Me and him always commiserate. His brother got all the credit.
Right, and he wrote all that great music too.
Similar to my story.
Yes.
So I wrote all the music. You probably saw the sensational film Mary Poppins.
Right.
Well, one of the songs, the lyrics were...
went right along with the show.
Yes!
This talk, didn't they?
Yes, you took the words right out of my mouth. So I'm going to sing them with you. I gave you a little song sheet there.
Yes.
These are the original lyrics to a song you may all be familiar with. Are you ready, Eddie?
All right.
I guess Darrell had to use the restroom. Okay.
Oh, man. I know. He's never around. Never both of us are around when the guest comes in.
Okay, you ready?
Yes. Just a spoonful of wonder makes the medicine go down. The medicine go down. The medicine go down. Just a spoonful of wonder makes the medicine go down in the most delightful way. Darrell, I love you. Quit working out at the Y. God is going to explain it all to you later. Woo!